That's dope. Before we get up out of here, I just want to ask you this question real quick. What do you think is the overall image or like perception of black men in today's society?
If we let the dominant white society dictate what the image is, it's always going to be negative, which it has always been that. Since the late 1800s, they've always had a negative portrayal of us. It's all about how we see ourselves. It's very important that we control the narratives. That's why I did the Hidden Colors movie. When I did the Hidden Colors movie, I started doing it around 2010. What did we see around 2008, 9, 10? At that time, there were so many negative portrayals of black people. It was pathetic. The movies that were out at the time was The Help, Precious, The Butler, The Blind Side, these weird, moping, dopey acting black people who had to be saved by white folks. And that was putting a cloud in the minds of black people. I said, we have to counter this stuff with something. And everybody kept saying, well, we need somebody in Hollywood to put together a movie about something positive. So I said, hey, let us do it. Let us raise the money and let's put out films about our positive history. So we raised the money and put out the first Hidden Colors movie. That blew up, and then we did a whole series about it. The Hidden Colors series ushered in the whole woke movement. It came from the Hidden Colors movement. And that just shows the ingenuity of us when we say we're going to take control of our image and our narrative and not let the dominant society portray who we are. They stopped making movies like that, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't see that dopey blindside bullshit no more because
we
we
see a
said
slave movie in forever. Like
yeah,
they
right.
Every 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Right. That was because of the grassroots said, hey, enough of that. We're more than that now. We can do better. So then we started to get the Black Panthers and all of that stuff.
Nat Turner, wasn't that Nat
Turner? Yeah, that was Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
Yes, indeed.
I think that's important is for, black men to really take control of the narrative because I feel like, especially in our society, everybody's telling the narrative of black men except for black men. Like, you got one side saying y'all thugs, y'all murderers, y'all abusers, y'all deadbeats. We got all of these negative things and we rarely hear any positive things. And I think it does go back to, even having platforms like this where we could just have these conversations.
I was just about to say that. YouTube platforms where black men are sitting here talking like we got sense. That's what we need more of because white people, they will look, or white supremacists, they like Negroes who are goofy and silly. They like platforms where dudes, these little gaming dudes, and I'm not going to call some of these dudes names, where dudes are just doing the weirdest, wackiest bullshit ever. White people love that type of shit. When we're chopping up game like we're chopping up now, this is what we're supposed to do. We're taking control of the narrative, showing, and you guys are getting good numbers, showing that we don't have to be goofballs in order to get an audience to have an intelligent conversation and intelligent dialogue. We can be silly sometimes and goofy sometimes, but as long as there's balance. I roast the shit out of people on my broadcast. But then I'm gonna say something, I go to the gutter. I go real gutter sometimes. I shame my wife. She's like, why are you talking about people so bad? But then I balance it off, you know what I'm saying? So there has to be, as long as there's a balance sometimes.